Hey, 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 hey. It's 8 o'clock Sunday evening. And of course, you got Kimberly F. Brown on Cleveland inside the Little Hut podcast. Yes. And of course, today I have a special guest because you guys know I really don't come in on Sundays. I kid you not, unless I got one heck of a guest, and I really do now. But of course, before we do that, I got to pay some bills first and foremost, because if it wasn't for my sponsors, I cannot make $2.25 today. Damn right. Now, don't forget that if you're looking for a single home, a condo, commercial property, you got to call Dream Team Realty. And when you do, ask for Aletha Johnson. She's our favorite realtor, and she can be reached right now at 216 375 3681. Here again, 216 375 3681. And her name is Aletha Johnson. Now, here's the thing. If you like to eat like me, then of course you want to go and visit Tiffany Buford over at Flavor Bomb Restaurant. She's located 3303 East 55th Street. That's right off of Broadway. And I believe that's Slavic Village. Go in, see Tiffany, tell her that Brown on Cleveland sent you, and ask her for that $5.99 holla that don't even exist. Right? And she may give it to you. Brown, that damn Brown on Cleveland. Welcome to the Little Hut Podcast. Yeah, well, today, let's go ahead and get down to the business. Yeah. Today I'm not going to call her a friend. I'm not going to call her an enemy or frenemy. I am going to call her the drum major of civil rights. And get this. Now, y'all know that we're not going to do any shiggity boo today. We're going to get right down to business. But there are rules that when you come into the little hut, and already she has violated one of the rules. Now, being a candidate, when you come into the little hut, you have to bring Kimberly F. Brown a signature piece. Okay, all right. You know what? Little Kimmy's not going to come out right now. But the next time she come into the Little Hut podcast, I want to see more than just her, the little business card. I need something to put on the wall of fame. But in the meantime, in between time, let's give it up for the drum major of civil rights, Miss Donna Walker Brown.
First of all, I want to thank you for inviting me to the Little Hut.
The Little Hut, yeah.
And I'm sorry I don't have a big signature piece. I'm just a small town girl on a small town budget right now.
Okay.
Okay.
All
but
right.
after May 17th,
Yes,
believe
ma'am.
me, we will have a signature piece that's up to your standards.
Okay, I appreciate it so much. But let's get down right to the get down, because a lot of people are excited, being serious now, to have you inside of the little hut. Right now, you are the fourth person that I have allowed to come into the little hut. And this year, I have made a commitment that I would only talk to people who are running for a state seat, because the General Assembly is what really gets a lot of things done. You guys have to bring some stuff down to our local community, so therefore we can prosper and move forward. Now, you're running for Ohio House
20.
Ohio House 20.
20.
Now, you're running for
State rep.
Step Rep. Now, before we get started, tell us, what exactly does a state rep do, Brown on Cleveland?
Well, a state rep is supposed to bring resources and funding to their constituents. They're also supposed to help in balancing the state budget, and they're supposed to write legislation in the best interest of the constituents and the entire state of Ohio.
Very good. Now, for the people who don't know anything about Donna Walker Brown, tell me exactly who you are. When people see you, first of all, everybody knows your face because you're always on the news, right? But do they really know who Donna Walker Brown is?
Well, Donna Walker Brown is a community activist
Mhm.
that believes in actually fighting issues that no one else wants to touch.
Oh,
I'm not really an ambulance chaser. When there's a group of people already fighting on an issue, then you don't need me. When there's an issue that nobody wants, that's when you need to call on Donna Walker Brown. And if you look in the past over the different Anaya Day, also I remember there was a young lady that you had a fundraiser for. I was a model in it. I pushed for other Republicans to support that because it was a good cause. The
you
young
did,
lady with the heart.
Maria.
Um, um, I'm more of that type of activist that when nobody else can help you, that's when they call on me. I remember getting a parking ticket one time with an issue hanging out with you talking about Armand Buddhist that was,
Shame on you. But go ahead.
but I got a parking. I was the only activist that left with a parking ticket
Correct.
at Armand Buddhist office, and we were there talking about injustices going on with the children, child and family services. So when East High, when they shut East High down, I wanted to do a fundraiser.
Mhm.
We didn't reopen. We did a sleepover. We
You
didn't
did.
reopen the building, but we did keep it as one of our buildings as far as CMSD. So I felt that that's a plus. With East Tech, Cleveland wanted to sell East Tech High School for $1. I couldn't just let that go. That was our only technical high school. LeBron actually ended up making it an NBA play space.
Interesting. Didn't know that.
Recently, the NBA women had a camp, like when the last two weeks for young women. I helped with Garden Valley. They was at a point where the lights, when the gas was getting
I
ready to get
remember.
cut off. I asked for your help there,
You did.
and I'm just that type of person that if I can help you, if my resources, and let me make no mistake, when you call on me, these are always Republican resources that I'm pulling. So I just believe it. If I can help, if you call me, I'll let you know if I can help. If I can't help, I'll let you know that too.
Very, very good. Now, what I can say about, first of all, let me tell the audience, Kimberly Brown, I do not live in District 20. So I have no dogs in this fight. So I am extremely fair. I just know your work. I remember when we were dealing with the Anaya Garrett case, and this is the time where you got the ticket. You, myself, and Al Porter Jr. We barged into the office of County Executive Armin Budish. And we got into it with the fake security officer
Yeah.
upstairs on the floor who tried to give us a hard time. And then we went into the county council chambers looking for answers and resolve. So I know your work. I know you will stand up for issues and circumstances that most people run from, including lawyers. My question to you is, now we know that Ohio is red.
Yes.
You are a Republican. You
Yes.
are. And I must say that you're not a closet Republican. You are who you are. I
Yes, I
think
am.
I would like to know, because you're running for a House seat that may be comprised of a lot of Dems. How do you, or what type of competitive edge can you create to let people know that you are the best candidate for House District Seat 20, Brown on Cleveland?
My opponent, when asked why he can't bring any funding to House District 20,
Hmm.
he tells them that the Republicans run the House and that they run the whole state. So, he just can't get anything done. With me, voting for Donna Walker Brown means you voting for a piece of the action. That
Okay.
means instead of being out in the lobby when they're making the decisions, I'm sitting at the table with a slot that says House District 20, Walker Brown.
Hmm.
I promise you, and my constituents
Okay.
that I will never leave the table and I don't bring something home for House District 20. And my reasoning for that is we're eligible for any type of funding you have. We're 56% black. We're 27% white.
Mm-hmm.
We're 8% Hispanic, 4% Asian, and another 4% other.
Brown or Cleveland.
That means we're eligible for whatever pot of money that gets on the table. But the fact that my opponent is a Democrat, he can't sit at the table and bring reason to the Republicans because he's not one of them.
What a hell of a jab. I often wonder what Harriet Tubman would say about some of these jokers who sit at the table. And let me explain, and then I want you to respond. We have people who get elected, and this is a table. They sit at the table. And when it comes time for them being hungry or to be hungry, a lot of these jokers say they're not hungry. And what I mean by that, if you have the resources here, then why aren't you taking all of the resources rather than waiting on a crumb? You say what? What would Harriet Tubman say? Brown on Cleveland. Because I ain't never
Well,
met a free slave.
well, I would believe that Harriet would say, I'm going to vote for Donna Walker Brown.
Hmm.
First of all, I know she's a fighter. Second of all, I know that she can count, and her grandmother didn't let her use a calculator until after high school. So therefore, if I know she'll pull out that pencil and paper and say, wait a minute, what's going to be left for 20? We can't leave this meeting until 20 get something. And then if I'm forced out the meeting without getting something for 20, I'm going to make some phone calls. I'm going to have some black folks in some buses coming down to let them know I represent them. So I would think Harriet would say, I'm going to go with that Donna Walker Brown because she ain't scared. And second thing, I'm gonna go with her because she really do love her people.
You got to, all of the fights that you've been in. Let's talk about your voting record.
Let's talk
When was the first time you voted?
about
Approximately?
maybe when I was 22.
And how many voting sessions have you missed? How many elections have you missed?
I would say maybe 10,
Maybe 10.
maybe 10.
Were they recent?
No,
Okay. The last time you voted?
the last time I voted was the last election.
Very good. Now, a lot of people don't know where District 20 is or what District 20 encompasses. Please give me a radius because those people who are listening, we have to make sure that they understand what district they're in. Can you give me a
Can I
map?
tell you what District
Absolutely.
20 is?
Please do.
Okay, first of all, District 20 is 28.6 square miles.
Okay.
All right. Now, District 20 is composed of Bradnall,
Hmm.
all of Bradnall, all of Ward 5, 7, and 9.
Hmm.
Then you have pieces of 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12.
And these are Cleveland wards.
These are all Cleveland wards, yes.
Very, very, very good. Now, have you traveled throughout the entire district?
Yes, I have. I've been around, yeah. I've made my way through the entire district.
Now, looking at the district, give me the top three issues that you would actually begin to work on in the event that you're blessed with this seat in November, Brown on Cleveland.
Safety.
What about safety?
Right now, we need more community, what we want to call those, more community and law enforcement engagement.
Okay.
We need to, we need more meetings. We need the community needs updates on what's on with the police, and the police need updates on what's actually going on in the community.
Okay.
So when I say safety, I want people to feel relaxed in calling the police. I want to take that snitch thing out and think about safety. And the reason I say that, if you notice, the village has been gone for about 14 to 20 years. The village has left.
Okay.
And one reason the village is left, when you have a village, that means someone else is beginning to stand up in your absence when they see that your child is acting up, right?
Brown
Well,
on
see,
Cleveland.
the reason the village has left is because the parents no longer want you to chastise their child, less alone say something to their child because their children run in the house.
Okay.
So what I want to focus on is kind of getting parents back in control of their house, getting your neighbors back looking out for you. You know, sometimes your alarm system might be off where your neighbor might see somebody going in your back window. But if you and your neighbor not communicating, your neighbor didn't see nothing.
So, as a state rep, how would you begin to work with the other community leaders that are within the district in order to make something like that happen and to make that initiative to be successful? What would you do as far as legislation?
First of all, I would reach out to the councilmen who
Okay.
actually are the leaders of the ward. And then let's reach out to the police's police officers, this whoever runs the each district.
Okay.
Let's reach out to
The
them.
captains.
Let's reach out to the captains, and let's have a sit down.
Hmm.
And while we sitting down, let's bring the community in so that the community can also put their vested. Let's hear from them too. So I would start with my councilman. My opponent has a thing telling people that he's walking around your ward. Well, that's not your job as your state rep.
Hmm.
My job is to make sure that these wards have the resources and the funding that it needs, where they're not a reflection of disparity, but a reflection of prosperity. That's
Okay.
what my job is supposed to do. Get you the resources.
Hmm.
And that's what I can do being a Republican, sitting at a table with Republican legislators.
Okay. What would be your number two focus, Brown on Cleveland?
Education. Right now, everyone is focused on K-3 or
Hmm.
K-5, right? Well, I remember in high school we took this class called Think.
Think I took it too, showing my age, Brown on Cleveland.
I took a class called Think, and I also took a class called Street Law.
Okay.
And those two classes, I feel like they need to be re-entered into our education system, because what it does, Thinks help you go through the process.
Hmm.
That's what Think helps you to process things, not to act so harsh and to actually think about the repercussion before you get in trouble. Um, Street law helps you have a what we would consider you know how to act when you stop by the police, because street law teaches you it's better for you to act accordingly and then come home and your parents can take it to the next level. So those are two classes as far as education that I would push. I would try to find funding to make sure that House District 20's children had that tool, because those two classes, those are what those are. Those are we take a lot of classes, right?
We do.
But street law and think is two that you take with you a lifetime. And that's what I would want to make sure that I would push for the Cleveland Municipal School District or the Cleveland Metropolitan, whatever you want to call it. I would push for those two classes to be back into the curriculum.
Do you remember? This is a sidebar. Do you remember when you and I first met, Brown on Cleveland?
No.
Yes, you do. Remember? Yes, you do. Remember there was a big issue regarding the Cleveland school levy, right?
Right.
And remember, I had visited your home,
Yes.
and you gave me, oh man, a pamphlet full of material about yay thick.
Yes.
And we sat upstairs on your second level, And you were like the teacher, and I was the student. Because Kathy Ray Coleman had put together a debate. And remember, it was Walker Brown and Brown, and we had to debate politely with Jeff Johnson. Remember that?
Yes.
I remember during the debate, this was held at the Little Africa Center
Yes, it
over in
was.
Cleveland, Ward 7. And
All
I
superior.
remember, absolutely, and I remember when you and I tag team Jeff Johnson, at the end, people told Jeff Johnson that he was in trouble, and he's an attorney, but he could not handle Walker Brown and he could not handle Kimberly F. Brown. I'm saying this because when a lot of people were afraid to speak against the Cleveland school levy because we felt it was not the right thing to do, and today is a proven example, we were absolutely emphatically correct. You were one of the biggest educational activists. The Cleveland public school system despised seeing your face. And you're still talking about education today. I'm saying that because I will applaud you now because you don't waver. And when there's an issue on the table, Donna Walker Brown, and here again, Kimberly Brown have no dogs in the fight, but I know your work, and I'll give you some for that.
Thank you.
Number three, the third issue that you would tackle in the event that you are successful in November with becoming the new state rep for Ohio House District 20.
Quality of life for seniors.
Okay.
And when I say quality of life for seniors, I want my seniors to feel safe when they coming out their
Mm-hmm.
apartments. I want my seniors to not, with you having this new cannabis laws that, you're kind of impeding on their fresh air.
Mm-hmm.
I want spots where seniors can go and they can just hear the birds, smell the air, feel safe, be in a sound mind just by being in a good environment. I'm gonna bring some resources home just for wellness. They're not just talking about physical, mental wellness. I want my seniors to feel safe and I want you to, what's wrong with listening to the senior? What's wrong with talking to them? I want you to, seniors just to knowledge is power. And
Mm-hmm.
as long as the seniors have a quality of life, that means they can talk to us and they can tell us where, no, you might not need to do that because I've done that and I know what happened. I want to improve the quality of life for our seniors and make this district a better district for seniors. I also, when they're driving,
Mm-hmm.
I look at how the dirt bike boys. I want my seniors to know the best thing that you could do when, even if you was to, I hate if you would hit one, but the best thing as a senior you can do in the event you're in an accident with them dirt bike boys is drive to the nearest police station because it's a good chance if you get out your car, they'll violate you, they'll assault you. So I want my seniors, if they can get, maybe they can find a system where they can hit a button and the police automatically has a GPS that could, when they're in distress and they're driving, maybe we can come up with some type of system. I know Councilman Conwell has came up with a lot of 211, 411 different access
Mm-hmm.
lines. Well, maybe I can collaborate with him and we can come up with some type of alert system
Mm-hmm.
that's actually free of charge.
Okay, no
I
cost.
find some funding at the state to pay for it, where all they got to do is just come and sign up for
You got the entire table full of resources, full of money. The only thing I ask, if any event that God blesses you with this seat, is that when you come to the table, make sure you come to the table hungry. What bothers me as a reporter, as a podcaster, is when here again we have elected officials who are so engulfed, so happy with being at the table. They want to do special events all day and they want to do photo ops. Don't nobody give a shiggity boo about that. Real talk. The community is at a point where they're no longer believing in this system called voting, elections, people being called leaders when in fact they can't lead anybody to damn water and they thirsty. I'm just gonna put it out there like that. They want people who are going to take care of them. It is about the quality of life. And a lot of people miss that boat. You, every year, what church do you belong to? Brown Oak Cleveland.
I belong to Greater Mount Calvary, Kojic, Kojic under Pastor Cecil Gamble.
And what is it that you guys do? What is it that you have spearheaded for the last, I don't know, it could have been 5 or 6 years?
We do a Dr. Martin Luther King celebration, but we do I help Brenda Jacobs with the Thanksgiving. We actually do feed people on Thanksgiving
Hmm.
Day, and anyone is welcome.
So let me stop you right there. So correct me if I'm wrong. Are you a staunch Republican?
Yes.
You are. You just made a comment and you said, we will feed anyone or everybody's welcome to come. What exactly does that mean if you're a staunch Republican?
That means that anybody that's hungry and they hear about we having some food over on 93rd and Nelson, come on over and get a meal. It don't matter what color you is. It don't matter if you Hispanic, Asian, black, white. If you need a meal on Thanksgiving Day, you are more than welcome to come and break bread and worship with us.
What if they're not a Republican, Brown or Cleveland?
You ain't gotta be in it. It does. See, that's it.
Okay.
Certain things don't matter about party line. Feeding people don't matter whether you a Republican, Green Party, Democrat. You got a need. God say that the poor and the needy gonna always be amongst us. Kim, most of all, my greatest accomplishment was giving birth to a black man who's not in jail, who's right now he don't have no children. I'm a little hurt on that, but
Leave little
um,
Dave alone.
that was my greatest accomplishment. But feeding the people, you can feed anybody,
Hmm.
even the immigrants. Hey, if they come on and get a plate, we'll talk about the rest of that later. But on Thanksgiving, anybody's welcome, no matter what party, no matter what race. Just come to Greater Mount Calvary. We gonna feed you, and hold on, we ain't gonna just feed you no little circus food. We put out a spread. Could you testify?
I've gained some pounds and I'm not a Republican. I am
Right.
an independent. The reason why I asked you that is because as you begin to campaign, well, you've already been campaigning, people want to know that if they're not of a particular party and if another party actually wins, will their concerns go ignored? You say what? Brown on Cleveland.
If you don't vote for me, yeah, they gonna go ignore it. I can't speak for nobody else. Only way I can help you is for you to vote to me. This is a general election. You
Okay.
can still stay a Democrat. You can still stay an independent. Bottom of the line, vote for somebody that's gonna always look out for you. If I get at the table, you can bet I'm always looking out for the constituents of House District
So
20.
so let's be clear because I want to be very clear with you. Are you saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, if you're blessed with this seat in November, that just because Miss Susan and Miss Polly, just because they're Dems, are you telling me that you'll put in the same sweat equity for them as you would your fellow Republicans, Brown or
I'm
Cleveland?
Yes, I'm telling you, first of all, I'm gonna put that same sweat go for anybody that's a constituent of House District 20. I'm gonna give you 110%.
Brown on Cleveland. What do you think is going to be your biggest obstacle as you're campaigning this particular cycle? House District 20.
My biggest obstacle is gonna be people. actually deciding whether they can vote for a Republican.
Hmm.
But what you got to understand is, I was that same Republican when I was out there putting my life on the line. For it. I haven't. I have to admit, I have not been out to protest or save any issue related to Republicans. I've been out to protest and save people that an injustice occurred, be it white or black. If you call me, either I'm gonna answer the call. Either you done sold me on your calls or you haven't. But it's gonna be a yes or a no, and you ain't gonna have to wonder where Donna Walker Brown is. If I say I'm gonna do something, it's done unless God take it.
Brown on Cleveland. How are you going to work with fellow Dems in the event that you get elected in November? What would that relationship look like?
Well, first of all,
Hmm.
we talking about the black deals,
Black Dems, white Dem, Puerto Rican Dems,
Porter
Dem
deals.
Dems, Dem, dumb
Okay,
Dems, smart Dems,
all
damn
right.
Dems, shiggity boo Dems, Dems, Dems.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm gonna cross the aisle,
Okay.
and first of all, the Dems gonna need to come to me, and I'm gonna. It's gonna be times I'm gonna have to come to some of the Dems in order to be able to move that money in order to get that money.
Hmm.
So I figure if we all get, if our whole goal is to make sure that House District 20 is successful and prosperous, right? I'm gonna cross that aisle. I'm gonna call them in the middle of the night. I might even knock on their door if after I done called you 3, 4 days. But if it's something dealing with House District 20, I'm gonna do what it takes in order for us to succeed. We gotta stop worrying about party lines and start worrying about our people.
There you have it, you guys. Her name is Donna, 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 Donna Walker Brown. She's a candidate for Ohio House District 20, challenging the incumbent Terrence Upchurch, who's a Dem who barely made the ballot. Now, that's a whole nother conversation. But here's how I work on Brown on Cleveland because I'm fair. I don't ask people to come to the Little Hut podcast. I'm just not going to do it. So I know that Mr. Upchurch is probably listening right now. Matter of fact, I know he is because his buddies then called him. So this is how this works. And you can go ask Eric Sennenberg, this who won House District Seat 21. If you want to come on the Little Hut podcast and tell us why you should maintain the seat, understand this, because you a Dem, you don't get a pass. That's why I am an independent. Because the first question, sidebar, I need to ask this brother is how come you barely made the ballot? And you didn't say it, I said it. Brown on Cleveland get a little messy up in this little podcast. Thanks to former Senator Shirley Smith when she started talking cray cray. But now I'm monetizing on the Little Hut. Because sometimes, when people try to be funny, what happens, right? They try to like put you down, but you come around and you lift up, but they try to shut you up. And it just didn't work. So do me a favor. Tell me Tell us why you are the best candidate for Ohio House District 20 so we can wrap this thing up. Oh, and by the way, now this is the beginning, right? In the middle, I want you to come back to Lil Hut, but you got to call me and tell me you want to come back.
Okay.
And right before the general election, if you want to come back, call me and say, hey, Brown on Cleveland, I'm coming back to Lil Hut, and you are more than welcome. Brown, 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 that's simply damn. They used to say Brown on Cleveland.
Well,
Yeah.
my reason why I feel as though you should vote for me is, what have you got to lose? Because
Woo.
you haven't gained anything with your current leadership. So what do you got to lose by voting for Donna Walker Brown? God bless.
Uh, okay. Well, hey, she just. Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
You done? Brown on Cleveland. Listen, y'all, she just wrapped it up. Anyway, hey, thank you for joining me inside the Little Hut. Don't forget that if you just checked in to Little Hut, you can always check us out on our YouTube channel. I'm almost up to 1 million subscribers, baby. I got 14 subscribers as of today, and I'm close to 1 million. Damn right, right? But on Newsbreak, I'm soaring, soaring, soaring. So of course, you know what I'm gonna do as soon as Ms. Walker get up out of here. I'm gonna go upstairs, write a story about this particular podcast because that's the way Brown on Cleveland do it, right? So not only do we get a podcast, but then we actually do a story. Brown, Brown, Brown. So everything you said here now goes in writing for people who don't have access to the internet, especially my seniors. Oh, and by the way, yeah, you're going to join me for a Mother's Day event. Yeah, with a bunch of seniors. Now, I'm not going to tell them where that is because I don't want people trying to run down and try to figure some things out. Really ain't their business, right? Anywho, my time is up. Hey, Kimberly Brown only give you 30 minutes of being with me, but I think I gave you about close to 40. You don't get more than that. You really don't. Anywho, hey, it's time for me to go. Hey, I keep it very simple. I know that you don't like me, and I really don't care. Because 9 times out of 10, I don't like you either. And that's what we have in common. My name is Kimberly F. Brown. Her name is Donna Walker Brown. Brown, Brown, Brown. That damn Brown on Cleveland.